Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road, episode 9. What's going to happen? I don't know. In the last episode, we infiltrated the party organized by Manon, by the leader, the local leader of the 4th, and she seems to know Menou, and she probably knows why she's there. And so the infiltration just automatically isn't successful. But she must have allowed Menou to come there for a reason. Whatever could that reason be? Well, I have absolutely no clue, but there has to be one. Also, while we're at it, a few clarifications that I read in the comments, and I think some on Discord. That what was that? The pure concept that they translated as chaos in the light novels is translated as evil, because it's like literally Mao, so evil, demon lord, and whatnot, which makes more sense that the pure concept of Mao would create demons and they would have to be sealed in the Pandemonium. Much more sense than the pure concept of chaos, right? Another thing is that Manon's mother wasn't the leader of the 4th, or rather, she was the leader of the local branch of the 4th, but not the leader of the 4th overall. And one more thing, that the leader of the 4th was supposedly captured and not killed, which is something I haven't confirmed myself. I haven't gone back and actually seen it, but someone said it, so I'm assuming I was mistaken and they were correct. Unless I just completely mistook their clarification and it's something completely else entirely. I don't know. Anything else worth mentioning? Right, apparently it's not really said anywhere that Manon and that little girl from the Iron Maiden are sisters, but I'm kind of getting those vibes from them, so I'm gonna keep assuming they're sisters. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe I'm not. I don't know. Okay, I think that covers it. So now let's cover what happened in the previous episode. Well, in the previous episode, we learned what the monstrine is. We learned of the, well, not of the existence of monstrine. We knew that it exists, but now we have the clarification that it's probably made from the blood of the little girl who somehow possesses the pure concept of evil. Manon can also maybe probably control that pure concept. She was using that pure concept while holding the ball of monstrine, so maybe she just has control over those balls of monstrine, not necessarily of the pure concept of evil. I don't know, it's kinda not entirely clear, but what is clear is that a pure concept is involved, a pure concept of someone who caused one of the main major human errors, the Pandemonium, and neither the little girl nor Manon seem to be victims of isekaiing. They seem to be native to this world. So that's very interesting how they're not isekai'd, and yet there is some pure concept involved, which again leads me to believe that pure concept can somehow be passed down the family tree. For a long time, because the 4 major human errors happened a long time ago, and this is now, and I don't suppose either Manon or the little girl are some immortal beings. I genuinely have no clue. It's all very, very vague, and it's vague for a reason, right? Mystery and all sorts of theories that you can craft and whatnot. And I just noticed that I haven't plugged my headphones in. I came completely unprepared for this episode. I don't even have my notebook before me. What else? What else? What else? Right, we are now infiltrating the party organized by Manon, and by we I mean Sister Cecilia and Menou and Akari. And Momo is also infiltrating it, but in her own way. She's not going through the front doors, she's going to be sneaking past or something like that, because she has a little bit of a friendly competition with Ashuna as to who's gonna get more intel. And I really like that friendly unfriendly rivalry between Ashuna and Momo. They really seem like there would be a situation eventually where they're just drinking, and Momo opens up about her love for Menou and how Menou has Akari, and Ashuna gives her some advice, and they're drinking buddies. And Ashuna just calls Momo her friend, and Momo just refuses to call her that. We're not friends, baka. Really reads like this kind of a relationship to me, and I'm down. I'm very much down for that. Anything else worth mentioning? Not really. Not really. Except that right at the end of the previous episode, everybody was treated to some food and drink, and I have a sneaking suspicion everything, or at least some of it, is spiked with monstrine. And it's going to get interesting. My prediction is every single fucking guest is gonna turn into a monster, except Menou and perhaps Akari. Or maybe Akari is going to have to use her timey-wimey powers to save Menou from being turned into a monster, or something like that. Is that it? I think that's it. I think that covers it, and we can just start watching it. So, subs sound. That went down the wrong hole. Oh, Jesus. White tea, raspberry, cardamom. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Episode 9 of Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road, version by subs, please, is gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Ah. Yep. It just so happens that both of those places are the same place. Okay. It seems like I didn't miss anything in my recap. Yes, you are. She really enjoys cosplaying, doesn't she? She's just enjoying herself. I mean, she's not entirely wrong. That mingling is a part of a party. Probably not this kind of obnoxious mingling, but mingling very much is. In a very condescending tone. You're gonna get headbutts uh, if you behave yourself. Moon, divine protection from what? Excuse me, that's the very first time something like that was mentioned. The moon and the divine protection from Saint Martha. What? Moon out equals divine protection from Saint Martha. That's the first time there's a mention of moon or any other celestial body having any sort of a power. And I think that's also the first mention of any sort of a saint. I might be mistaken there. But sure, there was a mention of their god, of Faust, but not of saints. Also, someone pointed out in the comments, because I couldn't figure out what's going on with the little girl in the opening, she takes off her head. And yeah, I can see that now. She takes off her head, and that's where the gushing red waves come from. Yeah, yeah. She very much seems like some kind of an immortal being. Could she be the original one? Could she be the isekai? A girl with the power of evil who somehow got wrong in the head. I love the sound design here. I love it. Little girl is is the isekai girl with concept of evil, just just immortal. There we go. Ashuna, you a friend or you a foe? In this particular situation, of course. Spinning up a story on the spot. I mean, she's not wrong. She's a warrior princess. She's Xena. All she needs is a couple of chakrams. Oh. Oh, that's very interesting magic. Right, Ashuna hasn't met Menou yet, did she? She doesn't have the scripture, though. How's she gonna do with a knife alone? The music's picking up, and... Also, one more bit of clarification. Momo is much more, um, much more, uh, fuck, what you call it? Much more of a sadist than they show it in the anime. Yep. I mean, it's gonna happen anyway because Momo has no use for witnesses. Blowing the flames in her way. Yep. But she doesn't have particularly large reserves. So how long can she fight? And will she have enough ether left to deal with whatever she has to deal with after she infiltrates what she needs to infiltrate? Yep. Is Akari gonna witness it? Disarmed? Not quite. Just bubbles. Yep. Ashuna likes. She's having fun. She really is having fun here. Yeah, it's not her real uh dagger. There goes being inconspicuous. There goes sneaking. Hmm. And she's back to her original self. The bubble coin? Ah, she's gonna put two and two together. That it was Menou. Yep, okay. I really like Ashuna. I really. Probably my favorite character out of this entire show. She's powerful, she's smart, she just enjoys fighting, she has no hidden agenda. Honestly. Oh, that's interesting. Whomst? Oh, Manon. Of course, she knows everything. She's the mastermind here. Oh, in. Oh. Suddenly, Akari no longer has her advantage of knowing what's going to happen. I like it. Oh, I like the course it's taking. Getting rid of Akari's advantage. I mean, nobody knows it's you still, so. Oh, you're a proxy for the holder of the pure concept of evil, who's controlling her from behind the pandemonium or something along those lines. Was her mother a lost one? Interesting. Ah. Using your pure concept erases your memories. The pure concept. Huh. Yes. Yeah. Thankfully, Menou doesn't seem to need saving, so. So there are changes happening. First, the stream, the beam of light inside of the pandemonium. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's not long ago. I thought it's an operation that's been going for a longer time. Yeah. She's going to free the little girl. Is the little girl someone who came from behind the pandemonium wall? I mean, kinda, sorta. And you're going to open it, and you'll unleash whatever the fuck you're going to unleash. You probably shouldn't have taken your hands off your scripture. It's not a normal child. She will. She's some sort of an immortal being. Explosion? Oh, it was trapped. But when you take the child out. Huh. Don't you have some healing magic? Oh, you would know something about the twisted personality, wouldn't you, Momo? Communication from Momo. For your mother, who was an otherworlder who was killed by the Post. That's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, at least Momo was able to see Menou in her dress close up. It's on. Could you take more ether to force the poison out? Ether of someone like Akari, for example. Hmm. Oh, they very much do have interest in her. At least Manon has. I mean, that's a sound plan. You probably won't, but it's a sound plan. And fully justified, yeah. But probably everybody is in the pocket of the fourth. Or maybe not. I don't know. That very much does sound like Flair. Are you going to reveal yourself as the villain? Okay. Okay, so it seems like the knights aren't in the pocket of the fourth. I mean, they have you isolated, so you're going to resist or you're going to die of hunger. Akari, are they frozen in time? They're frozen in time. Akari's doing. Oh, interesting. She's taking the offensive. Okay, it seems like in the next episode we're going to learn a few secrets. I like it. I like where this is going. Every time something happens in this show, I get the feeling that they could very easily follow some trope or another, and yet almost always they go with something original. Like, I can't name you every single trope that I thought they're going to go for, but that's the overall vibe I'm getting. That they could have done it in a more classic, in a more regular, in a more, tropey way. The story could have gone in a very simple for a very simple progression. There's a villain, we must defeat the villain and whatnot. But they're going the extra mile to have Akari talk with the villain and learn something. Really like it. The daughter of a lost one. Where is it? Uh, where is it? Fuck, it's nowhere. I don't have it explicitly noted down that one of them is a daughter of a lost one. Well, my mistake. I should have. Ah. Let's go through it again. Shall we? Said, shall we? There we go. Oh, yeah, last time on Dragon Ball Z. Also, someone pointed out why Menou didn't kill all those attackers. Well, because Menou has to keep the front of being a pure, just, and strong priestess, not the assassin, the executor she is. So, makes sense that she would just tie them and give them to the authorities. Just one more thing I wanted to mention. Two things I love the most about this show, probably. And compared to them, both Akari and Menou are mostly just leave it or take it. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I really like Menou and Akari. I really do. But the relationship Momo has with Ashuna is superior to the relationship Menou has with Akari. And Ashuna is easily the best character here. Ashuna, then Momo, then Akari, then Menou. That would be my ranking of waifus in this show. Yeah, don't take any food or drink. OP, OP, OP. And yeah, Momo has absolutely no trouble infiltrating. Question is them learning about the production of monstrine somehow a part of Manon's plans? I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, to be perfectly honest with you. Of course, Menou meets Ashuna. I initially didn't quite get that Ashuna never actually met Menou, so it was kind of weird how she didn't recognize her by her voice, by her hair and whatnot, and maybe it's different, not priest-like clothes, so of course Ashuna didn't recognize her, but no, Ashuna just like literally never seen Menou, so makes sense. And yeah, the Order of Knights is an exception. Strength must be chosen over grace. She very much is a warrior priestess, warrior princess, and I really like it. This is a cool magic. And also very interesting how Menou can use so many different skills without her scripture, right? Sure, she has Gale embedded or inscribed or whatever on her dagger, but the thing with covering her face, that's a whole another spell. Maybe the little thing she wears on her neck is embedded, is imbued with the magic of hiding the face or something like that? Probably. I know for sure that so far we haven't seen an example of magic being used without some sort of an inscription. Right? If you have a dagger inscribed with Gale, you can only use Gale, and you can only use it when you have that dagger. Ashuna has her sword inscribed with Flame Burst, so she can only use Flame Burst and only when she wields her sword. I think I got the magic system more or less correctly. That's why the scripture is such a big thing, because it can keep however many spells and gives you a huge arsenal. Also, one more interesting thing, and tell me if it was mentioned in the source material or not, or maybe the anime just did something that the source material didn't, I don't know, but Ashuna exploded her sword and created that fiery blade, but the regular physical blade was disintegrated when she was cutting down the palace back in the previous arc, in the Orwell arc, and now she has her sword back in shape. Did her sword reconstitute itself after she used magic? Did she order a new sword? Or was the whole thing with the sword bursting into bits and turning into an ethereal flame sword just anime original, and in the source material it was her regular sword was still there, except enveloped in fire? I don't know, but it's something I noticed, that she has the sword even though it seems to have been broken. You're a skilled fighter? Yeah, she is. And yeah, I think this scene shows Momo's um, sadism a little bit better, but there's probably going to be someone in the comments pasting me a whole passage from the light novel that details just how more more sadistic Momo was here. That this dude didn't just have his head smashed. Momo also cut off his ears and gouged his eyes out or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised. The anime is not shying away from gore and blood, but from what I hear from you guys, the light novel is going above and beyond what even the anime is showing. Etheric guns that are taboo. Of course, we already had it established. And yeah, Momo she's just going to vlog. She's just going to vlog her journey into the depths. All she needs is a selfie stick, right? And she's going to live stream on Ether Tube. That's actually an interesting setup for a light-hearted fanfic. Momo as a streamer. She's using her scripture to stream to EtherTube. Invoke Flame Burst and immediately invoke Gale to deflect. And yes, still, Ashuna can only use Flame Burst and Menou can only use Gale. Yeah, she doesn't have much ether capacity. That's correct. That's interesting. I sense Magecraft being conjured something big, and it's just bubbles. It's not big, it's just bubbles. Can you fake the spell you're casting? Kinda, sorta. So if your enemy can sense the strength of your spell, they sense that you're unleashing an equivalent of a tactical nuke, and what you're doing is just some bubbles? Or is bubbles really some terribly advanced spell that only Menou can use, and she took years to master it, or something along those lines? I wonder. I wonder because uh, so far, nothing in this show has been said without a reason. Everything that's said has a reason to be said. It either gives additional context, or serves as a Chekhov's gun, or serves as some sort of a what you might call it. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop at Chekhov's gun because what I wanted to say next is pretty much the equivalent of it. Uh, are those bubbles significant? I mean, we know that the bubbles are significant because Ashuna uses them to put two and two together and figure out who she was fighting. But is the fact that bubbles register as a big, powerful spell? Uh, like, you know, is it relevant? Is it something that we should know? That the bubbles are something big? It seems to have some relevancy. Otherwise, there would be no mention of it. Simple as that. And yeah, Menou uses them as distraction. They they pretty much only serve as a distraction or as a conduit. During the fight with, or well, she did use them as a conduit for her power to blow up the canister of red goop, whatever it was. Now she uses them as a distraction. Back on the train station, she also used them as distraction. A very versatile spell. And then she got Ashuna. I Let me reiterate how much I love Ashuna. I She's the simplest character here. She really is. She's the most normal out of them all, at least so far, and she's the simplest. Momo has that weird duality to her. On one side, she's a lovey-dovey, cute little lolly girl. On the other, she's a ruthless sadist. Momo on one side is that pure, just, and strong priestess. On the other, she's an executioner with a completely blanched past and a twisted personality. Akari is a dojiko on one side, but deep down, she's someone who went through however many iterations, however many time loops, and went through all sorts of trials and tribulations, and survived them all, and died to some of them, and then was revived, and she lived through so much of it. And also, she's giving me major yandere vibes. Ashuna is straightforward. Ashuna likes fight. You strong. Ashuna, fight. Simple. There's no depth to her. And I love it. But at the same time, she's not just a brain-dead musclehead. She's who's a close to a comedic relief in the way that wherever she sees someone strong, she wants to fight because Ashuna, fight. She's smart. She's intelligent. I like it. Honestly, I really like. I really like Ashuna. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with her, but I really do like her. It helps that she very much reminds me of Christina from Precon, who was my very first 3-star pull in the gacha, and I love my Christina. But hey, you guys tell me, who's your waifu of the show? I'm interested. I'm interested in your different views on it. I can't compete with technique, so I'm going to use, yeah, straight power. Double invoke. Expansion, flame burst. So I'm assuming she has multiple spells imbued in her sword. One of them is flame burst, the other is some sort of a modifier. The modifier of expansion or slash expansion. Again, this magic system proves to be very, very interesting. How there's a base spell and there's a modifier you can add on top. And at the same time, it doesn't seem to be something like you see in many isekais, where it's like Giga Flame Arrow Burst Triplet Maximize Mana Magic of Doom, 17 modifiers, and it's just the Gates of Babylon but with flame arrows. There are those modifiers, but they are also restrained. So far, I think we've seen at most one or maybe two modifiers used on a spell. One for sure. I mean, here we're seeing one modifier. Two, maybe. I don't remember it, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone somewhen used two modifiers. But we haven't seen more. We haven't seen anything that would be over the top. And I like it. I really enjoy the magic system in this world. And of course, it was just a ruse on Menou's part. It wasn't her real dagger. Her real dagger is still in the ground, embedded. And she can invoke Gale. Again, her dagger can only invoke Gale. So what was that illusion? Does she have something else that's imbued with the magic of illusion, that has the illusion spell inscribed on it? And she seems to have cast that illusion without this effect of a sigil appearing in the air. Does she have like a mini scripture on her? On her right thigh she keeps her dagger, and on her left thigh she keeps a mini scripture? Because her scripture proper is with Akari. Huh. Interesting how she can use all sorts of magic without without the scripture. Also, this is interesting. So far, we've seen Akari trigger her ability and go back to her original self and restore her memories only when she's in immediate danger or when she dies. Right? On the train, she was in immediate danger, or perhaps she was already dead, so she invoked her powers, and she was able to solve that situation. Back when she was held by Orwell, she was close to being blanched, so she invoked her power. She's not in immediate danger here. Sure, she believes that Menou might be in danger, but she herself isn't. Is the condition for her limiters to come off, so to speak, that either her or Menou are in danger? Could be. Also interesting how Menou just left the coin. She probably couldn't have known that the coin alone will allow Ashna to put two and two together. Or did she want Ashuna to figure it out? I don't know, but leaving the coin by accident seems very careless for someone like Menou. And yeah, Ashuna, of course, manages to figure it out. That's one of the reasons why I like her character. She's not just a dumb musclehead. She is a warrior princess, in the full meaning of this word, of this term. She's a warrior. She's strong and powerful and whatnot, but she's also a princess. She had good upbringing. She had education. She had all sorts of stuff. So she's smart and she's strong. Very often, when there is a character of a warrior someone, it's mostly kind of a subversion on that someone part. Like you have a warrior monk, for example, in any piece of media, and that warrior monk is more of a warrior than a monk. You have a warrior maid who are more warriors than there are maids. You have warrior princesses who are more warriors than there are princesses. Ashuna is both a warrior and a princess. Her seeing bubbles on the train station makes sense that she would use it to connect the dots, but her remembering how Momo said that except for Menou you can all just die, I don't know what significance does it have in her thought process. It was probably expanded upon in the light novel, her connecting the dots. They just kind of put it one to one in the anime, but didn't quite go this in depth. So, yeah. And that's good material I can use for poking fun at Momo tonight. I really like that this is her first thought. Not that, oh, so the Faust are involved in it. Not, oh, so maybe she knows what happened to my father. Not anything malicious or anything grand. No, just, hey, when I meet up with Momo and we get some drinks, I can use it to poke fun at her. Hey, Momo, your girlfriend uses bubbles to fight. Ha! That was her first thought. Again, shows how, honestly, how pure, just, and strong Ashuna is. She's the purest of them all. She really is the cinnamon bun of the bunch. And it says a lot if someone like Ashuna is the cinnamon bun. Weird feeling I had back there. Back when she was hit by the beam of light. So the beam of light is Chekhov's gun. In one way or another. I have it noted as Pandemonium Shield Fog is falling apart. But what would be different about this particular loop? Because she's Menou Akari is resetting the whole world whenever she dies or is close to dying, right? She's not just resetting the immediate area. Could it be that the major human errors are someone exempt from Akari's powers? That sure, she's rolling back the entire world, but she's not rolling back the Pandemonium. And so the Pandemonium slowly starts crumbling. Normally it would take it 100 more years or whatever, but since Akari rewinded time so many times, she lived through 100 years, for example, through all of her time loops. The Pandemonium is now 100 years older than it should have been, and it's slowly crumbling. I'm gonna note it down. Akari rewinds the world, but not human errors who can still progress. Pandemonium breaking. Okay. Weird feeling I had back there is getting worse. I've regressed over and over again. The only major thing that's ever happened in Libelle was me getting sent into the Pandemonium. But this time you are at this party. Too many things are happening that never happened before. You being attacked at the market, monstrine being distributed, the party with Manon. Could it be? Do I have it noted down? Yeah, I do. That the little girl is isekai girl from with concept of evil, just immortal. Uh, and I'm going to note down another theory. Little girl came from Pandemonium. If my theory is correct, because that's my current theory, and it kind of all falls into place. If the Pandemonium really is crumbling earlier than it should, because Akari rewinds the time of the world but not the time of the Pandemonium, this time around it was weak enough for Manon to rescue the one who caused the Pandemonium, that little girl, from within, and use her for her own purposes. Little girl came from Pandemonium, went mad inside. That also explains why she would be so weird, because she's been trapped inside of that Pandemonium with demons and whatnot, completely alone for thousands of years. And now she's just a bumbling, just a kid who's going all ba ba ba. It makes sense so far. I don't know if it will continue making sense. The next episode will be the breaking point. We will learn a lot in the next episode. I can see it. Getting exalted in the market, this bell being hosted, that pillar of fire. So yeah, something happened that put Manon in the position of power. Hmm. My mother had the same hair. Black hair is like big in Japanese culture and media. That's usually the way you can you can tell someone who's Japanese from someone who's not Japanese, right? If you're Japanese, you have black hair. If you're not Japanese, you have not black hair. And actually, I'm going to scroll back even further to the bowl. I want to see something. I know, even earlier here. No. There are people who have black hair. There are people who have black hair. I thought that there might be a detail that I completely missed, that nobody has black hair here except Akari, and that's like a surefire way to see that someone is an otherworlder. Hmm. My own mother had black hair just like yours. But yeah, to continue my thought, it's usually the way to tell who's Japanese and who's not. So now she's able to tell that Akari is Japanese because her mother, again, because her mother was also Japanese. Her mother was an otherworlder and also had black hair. That's the significance of black hair here. Hmm. I have it noted older sister can control Monstrine thanks to her bloodline nonetheless. By older sister, I meant Manon. If Manon is a daughter of an otherworlder, what was her mother's pure concept, though? Was it chaos? Her mother couldn't have been the one who caused the pandemonium, right? Because it was thousands of years ago. Yeah, my head is a mess. My head is a mess. Let's just go with it. This is interesting. It's true I've lost most of them. I took a note that using pure concept erases memories gradually, at least memories of your past. Um, it could be that it eventually degrades your very mind, which would explain why that little girl is the way she is. If she was really trapped in the pandemonium, constantly using her pure concept to summon more and more demons, her pure concept going out of control, she eventually went mad. Why is she not summoning demons now? Well, because she is in that Iron Maiden. But how would it block her pure concept? She can't be the one, can she? Yeah, because she'd be summoning demons. Suddenly my theory crumbled. It possesses the power to change the world as you see fit. My advantage of knowing the future won't matter anymore. I like it. I like this change. It introduces tension again. Because back when Akari knew exactly what was going to happen, there was very little tension because they're just going through the paces. If something happens, Akari knows exactly what happened because it happened X times before, so she's going to be able to find her way out of it. But no, this is new. This is a brand new iteration, a brand new loop. She has no clue what's going to happen because so many things have already changed. So many constants have become variables. Now she still has the benefit of if she dies in this iteration, she can just restart again. But it still adds just a little bit more tension, and I like it. Maybe this is a change for the better. It is, because in none of the previous iterations did you or Menou succeed in your goals. That's why there were multiple iterations. Now that there are some changes happening, there's a chance that this iteration, this loop will be different, and that both of you will succeed in whatever you want to succeed in. Started producing Monstrine 2 weeks ago. Manon Libel, who had done nothing until that point, suddenly took over. Yeah, brought in the tool and started producing Monstrine. Something happened 2 weeks ago. And I think what happened 2 weeks ago was Pandemonium starting to give in. I still believe in my theory that the Pandemonium is somehow crumbling. Yeah, it's not a coffin. It's an Iron Maiden. She seems perfectly fine for a kid who's been stabbed by an Iron Maiden throughout like hours and days, and perhaps even weeks, with apparently poisoned spikes, which tells me she does have some capability of um, regeneration. She's not just a regular old little girl. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't activate when you open the Iron Maiden. It opens when you try to save the child, and the child seems to be laying dead here. But is she? I have a sneaking suspicion she isn't, and that she's just going to come back to in no time at all. These spikes are poisoned. Yeah. Interesting that for how many spells they have in their scriptures, there's nothing about healing. You'd think that Momo would have some, like, first aid spell, something that would just, I don't know, stop the bleeding. Some etheric band-aid or something of the sort, but no, nothing. Hmm. Like, sure, it makes sense since they're executors and whatnot that they would have mostly combat spells at their disposal. Combat and defensive spells, which I guess defensive spells are also a part of combat spells. But it is weird that they have nothing of healing. Hmm. I get my revenge for your mother being killed by the Faust because she was another worlder. Makes sense. Momo getting headpats, well deserved. You did well, Momo. And even here, they don't seem to be using magic to treat her. Can magic not treat? Can magic not cure? Is magic only and purely destructive or defensive? Is there no healing magic in this world? Is this why Akari, when she was thought to have the power of life and the power of healing, is this why she was so sought after? Hmm. Yeah, the plan makes sense. You rely on others unlike Flair. Yeah, she is. She might believe that she's the little Flairette, but she's different from her master. And I think Flair would be proud of her. That she's able to go past the self imposed limitations that Flair put on herself. That she's able to ask for help, that she's able to make friends, something that Flair was never able to do. It's unfortunate. Hmm. And yeah, make also one more thing I noticed about Manon. She is dressing in a Japanese fashion, right? She's wearing it's a yukata, fairly plain but still yukata with the obi. I think it's the belt's called obi or something like that. And she has this little bunny that also wears some sort of a Japanese wear. Makes sense that her mother would be from Japan. And here we learn that Akari can not only. I guess, do we learn it, or did she? Yeah, she used that power back in the Orwell arc as well. The power to freeze people in place. And yeah, it shows her mastery over her own powers. I have to ask you a few things, but do you mind? I bid you welcome, Miss Akari. And they're going to talk. And we're going to figure stuff out. The next episode is going to be important, isn't it? It's going to be very, 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 very important. I can tell. That was just a great episode. It didn't tell us much outright, but it did a lot of setup, mainly for the next episode. I guess it did confirm that Manon has something to do with the Lost One, that she is a daughter of a Lost One. Uh, it gave us some time frames as to when they started producing Monstrine, but it mostly established the additional secrets of what exactly is Manon's plan. We know that her ultimate goal is revenge, but through what means? Monstrine is, of course, a part of it, but what else? We have to ask, who's that little girl? Where did she come from? What her powers are? Why is she the one that Manon uses to produce Monstrine? Right? Could she not have used any random child, some orphan from the streets? Probably not. We also know that this time around, this loop, this iteration is different. And the differences started here in Libelle. And all of them have to do with Pandemonium and with Manon. The fact that Pandemonium is in Libelle is no coincidence. That much I am absolutely certain of. You could have Pandemonium arc, whatever it might be, with any other city in the background. You could have had the Libelle arc of the fourth ones and whatnot without the Pandemonium being around. The fact that they are in the same area matters. It's important because they are intertwined. Because Manon's plans somehow involve Pandemonium. My most likely theory so far is that the little girl came from the Pandemonium. She's either the lost one who has the power, the pure concept of evil, but somehow decided to not summon demons once she's out of the Pandemonium. I don't know. But it really could be any number of things. Pandemonium Shield is falling apart. That's another theory I had, and I also stick to it. Initially, I wasn't sure why exactly would it start falling apart now in this iteration, but perhaps the human errors, or indeed anything caused by pure concepts, isn't under the influence of another pure concept. I think that might be the case. If Akari, for example, tried to revert that continent of salt to the way it was before, perhaps she couldn't, perhaps she wouldn't be able to do that, because it was something caused by a pure concept, and one pure concept cannot influence another. You know what? Another page. One pure concept cannot interfere with another or its effects. I might be onto something. How many pages do we have? 1, 2, 3, and I just started the fourth one. Not even Symphogear, not even Revue Starlight has this many pages of notes and theories. Yeah, Symphogear G has 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I guess Virgin Road just overtook Symphogear G in the amount of notes and theories I have, which is absolutely mental. Ah, anything else that I wanted to mention? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to go through those theories at the end of this video because it's already an hour 16 minutes. Holy shit! I've been talking for a long time. Um, Akari has bad memories from the original world. She seems to have no memories, but she might be lying. So I'm not going to cross it out quite yet. Mm, Menou defeats Flare. Could Akari rewind people to their original worlds? Erasing memory to keep pure concept in check. We know that Akari herself does it, but could it be done to others? That much we don't know. Akari caused human errors. Akari erased memories of previous life. She might have consciously done it. And then erased her memory of erasing those memories. Huh. The kid has to be kept in the Iron Maiden to keep her from transforming into a monster. Uh, I don't think that's true. I think she has to be kept there, maybe to keep her from summoning demons. I don't know. Or maybe she doesn't have to be kept there, actually. She's just kept there to produce monstrine. I don't know. Pandemonium shield is falling apart. Manon poisoned her father. Pure concept of chaos is inert in the bloodline. Iron Maiden somehow utilizes it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And the rest is theories just from this episode alone. It's episode what? 8? 9? It's episode 9. 3 more episodes to go. Oh, it's going to get intense. I can tell. It's going to get intense. But yeah, right now, I think that's it. My mind is completely. My head is steaming. You can see it, but my head is totally steaming right now. My mind is blown. And I just cannot wait for the next episode because we will learn so much from someone who actually seems to know what the fuck is going on. And that someone seems to be Manon. Another variable that, hey, you guys, you tell me in the comments or on my Discord right here. What did you think of this episode, my reaction of my theories? Keep everything spoiler free. I'm going to keep repeating it however many times I need. Keep it spoiler free. If you have any clarifications, something that was done differently in the light novel, something that was skipped compared to the light novel, something that, I don't know, the light novel did better, did worse, whatever. I'm going to leave it at your discretion. I'm going to trust you that you won't spoil me, but I would like to know about the differences, so tell me about them. If you want to talk spoilers, do it on my Discord. There's a Virgin Road channel. You can use spoiler tags and talk about spoilers all you want because I'm not going to read them. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases, not only Virgin Road, but also Symphogear G, Revue, Starlight, Spy X Family, Skeleton Knight in Another World, and Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2, which is actually getting good right now, so you might want to check out the latest episode of Shield Hero. And if you want to support me monetarily, you can do that on Patreon, and you also get some benefits like access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear and Revue Starlight up to 1 week early or more. Right now, I have episodes 10 and 11 of Symphogear out on Patreon. On YouTube, there's only episode 9, so if you want to watch two ahead, you can do that on Patreon. And even just for $1, you also get access to a role on my Discord server, you get placed in your credits, all sorts of good stuff. And if you want to support me but don't necessarily want to spend money, you can of course do that as well by just sharing my content, sharing my videos. The more you spread the word through the grapevine, the more people watch my videos, the more YouTube itself promotes them, and that drives people to the channel, and those people drive other people, and it's a nice little snowball effect. And anything else? No, I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, Discord, Patreon. So that's going to be it from me for today. And as always, do all the good stuff. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits I mentioned. The list is getting longer and you can help expand it.